My name is Shail Mayaram, and I'm a professor at the Center for the Study of Developing Societies in Delhi, and I'm currently also director of the CALAS counterpart, the International Center for Advanced Study on the Metamorphoses of the Political. I have a critical notion of the idea of absolute peace because I think human beings are conflictual, and peace is rare. And that's what I presented. Peace is even an illusion, but we can achieve a kind of working notion of peace. Yeah. So that's the way in which I would use the notion, and I prefer to use the idea of living together. Yeah. So how do we live together? Because human beings are characterized by difference, religious, ethnic, class, caste in my country. So, how can people live together? I work on the idea of how we might reconceptualize, living together, and how we can draw upon ideas from the languages of the global South. Yeah. So in Spanish, you have the idea of convivencia. In Arabic, you have the idea of sulh, reconciliation. You also have ishra, which is about sharing times, and tayush, which is another version of living together. In my country, in the Indian languages, you have the idea of ahimsa, non-violence, and also of friendliness, which comes to us from Buddhist thought. But there is also in the Mahabharata epic the idea of anushans, non-cruelty. And so that being that involving the idea of the rise of all, the well-being of all peoples, and also the idea that you can mourn together, cry together, yeah? Share each other's feelings. So conceptually, enriching the idea of living together as a humble notion of cosmopolitanism, which was very elitist and Eurocentric. So thinking about that is one of the things I'm interested in. I'm also interested in ways in which we can think about more ethical notions and inclusive notions of nationalism, rather than exclusivist and majoritarian nationalism, which is currently what we see around the whole world. And so for me, Gandhi is very important in the way in which he thinks about the idea of nationalism, which is characterized by non-violence, which includes people from different faiths and backgrounds, and the ways in which they can learn from each other's religions. And so he also develops the idea of a neighborly nationalism. So the importance of thinking about your neighbor. And so the ethical core is very important, and how you can even achieve an inner transformation of somebody who is violent. And he does this in the case of one of the leaders of violence called Suhrawardi. So Suhrawardi leads a violent mob and is involved in killing in 1946. In 1947, he works with Gandhi because of this inner transformation, and in which he acknowledges his own responsibility for violence in 1946.